Welcome back to Omishiroi Recap. Today, I will recap Chivalry of a Failed Knight. The story begins with a transfer student at Hagon Academy. She is the strongest and most talented magic knight named Stella Vermilion. She was also the princess of the Vermilion Kingdom, therefore, her arrival caused everyone a stir. After seeing news about Stella, a boy named Ikki Kurogane ponders why his life is so unfair. He has no talent in magic, but he is determined to become a magic knight and works hard despite being considered the worst due to his low magic abilities. When Ikki returned to his apartment, he was surprised to find a beautiful half-dressed girl in his room. The academy director summoned them. Ikki apologized for his earlier mistake and took responsibility for his behavior towards Stella. But Stella was still angry. Ikki made her blush by saying she was beautiful. The director said that they would become roommates. Ikki was surprised because he was F rank but in the same room as a rank. The director explained they were a perfect match because Ikki was the weakest. The battle begins, and Ikki displays strong fighting skills. He could imitate Stella's sword technique, and Ikki called the skill. Stella started activating her magic power to counterattack, knowing an ordinance and strengthened himself in 1 minute. He could dodge Stella's attack and slash her, knocking her to the ground. Ikki ended up winning the duel and immediately fainted. After that, the director met Stella, wondering why Ikki was F rank even though he was so strong. The director explained that the ranking was determined by magic power, whereas Ikki's magic power was weak. When Stella returned to the apartment, she saw Ikki sleeping. She felt curious about his body and tried to touch him. That woke him up, and then Stella apologized for her behavior. Ikki remembered the agreement for the loser to obey the winner. Ikki ordered Stella to be his roommate. Ikki and Stella started their morning by running to train their physical strength. They even shared a drink, and it made Stella blush. Then there was Ikki's little sister, who was on her way to the same school. She was named Shizuku. While in class, they learned about the selection contest for the 7-Star Sword Arts Festival from a teacher named Yuri. Then a classmate named Kagami tried to seduce Ikki with her boobs. She wanted to set up a newspaper club and interview him. Ikki tried to avoid it and left from there. Shizuku suddenly ran up to him and kissed him, which surprised everyone. Stella seemed jealous of Shizuku because she was so close to her brother. So in the end, they were punished by the director by cleaning all the academy bathrooms. After finishing that, Shizuku accidentally revealed some tales about the samurai Ryoma, who is his grandfather, and Ikki wants to be like him. The Kurogane family has always produced talented children who are great at magic. But only Ikki has no talent for magic, so he is treated badly and is considered non-existent. He decided to leave his house. Because it was snowing outside, he got lost and gave up on his life. The sudden appearance Ikki not to give up. Grandfather and dreamed of becoming a magic knight. After that, Stella wanted to give a gift by cleaning Ikki's back, but he had difficulty holding himself back because Stella was so beautiful. After finishing training, Stella tries to ask Ikki out, but he gets a message from Shizuku offering them to go shopping with her. It made Stella angry that Shizuku stole her chance, so Stella decided to join them, and Shizuku introduced her roommate Alice to them. Alice? While trying the food dish suggested by Alice, Shizuku blushed because Ikki suddenly brushed the food off her cheek. Stella also wanted his attention, but Ikki wanted to go to the toilet. Ikki was very grateful to Alice for befriending his sister. Shizuku was very shy and didn't open up to others. At the same time, a criminal organization has taken over the mall. Alice uses his powers so they can hide in the shadows. The criminal organization is led by Bishu, who demands large sums of money as a ransom for hostages caught at the mall. Stella and Shizuku were hiding among the hostages. Then a gunman tried to kill a small child there. Seeing that, Stella immediately protected him. so Stella fights against them. But Bishu absorbs her power and releases it with such force that it hurts Stella. Alice tried to keep Ikki waiting as Shizuku was preparing barrier magic. Shizuku protected the hostages with a wall of water while Ikki used his powers to attack Bishu and cut off his left arm. In the end, they managed to catch the criminal, but there was still one armed person intending to attack them. Suddenly someone came to their aid. He was named Kirihaya, a former participant in last year's 7-star. Kirihaya was getting compliments from the girls. Then Ikki gets a message from the academy that he will fight Kirihaya in the first selection match. The tournament begins between contestants Stella and Momotanni in the first selection match. Stella easily defeats her opponent with powerful fire that makes her opponent faint. While watching Kirihaya's match video, he had an area invisibility technique. The perfect camouflage that not only hides itself but also its presence and smell. Because of that power, he became the worst opponent for Ikki. Kirihaya was his classmate last year. He attacked Ikki and forced him to fight him. But Ikki didn't fight back, which was why he was spared the punishment. Ikki was nervous because that day was his first official match since entering the academy. The match started between Ikki and Kirihaya. He immediately activated his ability and disappeared from his presence. Even though Ikki initially fended off his attacks, Kirihaya had gotten stronger since last year. Now the arrow is completely invisible when it hits its opponent. That left Ikki badly injured and helpless. Kirihaya started making fun of him, and the audience laughed at him and looked down on him. Hearing that made Stella angry. She couldn't accept that someone else had insulted the one she loved. When he heard Stella shout, which made his spirits rise, he immediately gathered his strength to fight Kirihaya. Now Ikki could dodge all the attacks and learn the techniques used by Kirihaya. With it, Ikki could chase him until it frightened him. In the end, Kirihaya was mentally hit to the point of fainting. Ikki winning his first official match was an epic comeback. Ikki is admitted to the medical room accompanied by Stella. Ikki confesses that he likes Stella too. They both decide to promise to be stronger together. After 2 weeks, Ikki had won 5 matches, so he began to be called the King of Swords without a crown. While in class, he became popular with the girls, so the male students felt jealous and attacked him. However, Ikki could trounce them. They begged him to teach them to be stronger. As a soft-hearted man, he couldn't refuse their requests. He started volunteering and increased their strength in learning about swordsmanship. Afterwards, they headed. She also wanted to do romantic things like lovers, so the two of them started to fight, even though both of them were able to solve the problem by kissing each other. When they came home from the swimming pool, Ikki and Stella got an email that they would fight the student council members in the next match. Stella and Ikki competed against the student council members. Ikki fought contestants with fast speed while Stella fought someone strong with a big body. Even though the student council members were strong, Ikki and Stella could trounce them. After that, a girl stalked him for a week. Realizing it, Ikki immediately confronted her. The girl named Ayase is the daughter of a genius warrior named the Last Samurai. Knowing that made Ikki excited because he admired Ayase's father's sword techniques, but her father was currently hospitalized. She told him that she wanted to learn swordsmanship from him. Ikki accepted it and would train her. Ayase felt that she couldn't improve her skills no matter how hard she tried. After noticing Ayase's movements, Ikki decided to correct her posture. It made Stella and Shizuku jealous, and Ayase got wet. But she could immediately feel a tremendous increase when she launched a counterattack. Ayase also decides to always train with Ikki because she needs to get stronger as fast as possible. After several days of training with them, Ayase insisted on buying food for Ikki with Stella. Suddenly came a group of delinquents led by Kurashiki. He seemed to like fighting swordsmen, so he forced Ikki to fight. But as they were walking home, Ikki and Ayase got an email that they would be fighting in the next match. Ayase invites Ikki to meet her on the school roof the night before the match. She seemed to be acting strangely and suddenly made her fall from the roof. Ikki immediately used his superior ability to save her. It turns out that Ayase had purposely jumped off the roof just for Ikki to use the ability, because that ability could only be performed once a day. Ikki couldn't use that ability when the selection match was about to take place in 10 hours. Ikki immediately returned to the room, asking for help from Stella. Now he is trying to recover in the hospital, and there is still time left for the match. The director asks Ikki to meet her at her office, and Ikki is prepared to accept any punishment for damaging the school building. Before that, Ikki asked the director about Ayase. She explained that Ayase's father had lost a duel with someone 2 years ago, and was unconscious until now. The person he was fighting was a sword eater named Kurashiki. Because he won the duel, he took all the land and property of her father. Ayase is determined to be strong by winning all the selection matches to take back all of that. As the fight begins, Ikki gets slashed as he tries to approach Ayase. Ayase's ability was wind trails. Ikki also realized that the battle arena had been equipped with invisible traps, making Ikki seriously injured. Even though his main ability was no longer usable, Ikki still had another ability. He counterattacked quickly, making it difficult for Ayase to defend. Everything she lost, Ayase happily accepts it, making her cry tears of joy. The three of them headed to the dojo belonging to the Ayase family. They were amazed after knowing that Kurashiki could beat the last samurai with his sword skills. Upon arriving at the dojo, Ikki immediately challenged Kurashiki to a duel. Kurashiki uses a sword named Orochimaru which can change shape like a snake. As the fight progressed, both brutally attacked, but Kurashiki managed to injure Ikki's body. At the same time, Ayase tries to stop them, but she is stopped by Stella, who tells her that Kurashiki and Ikki are enjoying the fight, just like what her father did, who was very happy to be able to fight someone strong. So Ayase realized that her father didn't apologize to her but to his opponent for not finishing the fight between them. Their battle was so fierce that each started to tire. Ikki ended the fight by using the secret technique of the last samurai. Ultimately, Ikki won the duel and reclaimed the dojo from Kurashiki. Ikki was able to use the last samurai's secret technique because he had blade steel ability, and stole Ayase's sword technique during her previous training. Ayase's wish comes true. Even moments later, she gets news that her father has regained consciousness. Ikki and Stella have managed to win 12 matches. Therefore, the director gave them a gift in the form of a 1-week vacation somewhere. Stella was happy to be alone with Ikki and wanted to stop by the waterfall. However, when they met the student council members, it turned out that the director asked them to help clean up the training ground with in the middle of the road. Stella looked exhausted but determined to continue her journey. Soon her head became dizzy, and she wanted to pass out. Ikki immediately took her to the hut so Stella could rest. Because Stella's clothes were wet from the rain, Ikki had to take off her clothes and try to hold himself back. Suddenly, Ikki felt that someone was outside. When they checked, it turned out that a golem was attacking them. Ikki immediately took Stella to safety and tried to fight the golem alone. Even though Ikki could destroy the golem, he could recover and multiply. While Ikki struggled to fight them, the student council members aided him. Not only that, but the student council president was also there. With extraordinary strength, she easily defeated all the golems and even managed to injure the person controlling the golem. She was named Tauka, the strongest knight in the academy. On the other hand, Shizuku received an email from the academy that she would fight Tauka in the next match. Before the match, Shizuku prepared herself and made a new strategy to beat her opponent. While Ikki was worried that Shizuku would push herself, he hoped that Shizuku would be fine during the match. The selection match between Shizuku and Tauka started. Shizuku realized that she couldn't win against Tauka in close combat. Therefore, she can only defend and attack from a distance. Tauka also realized Shizuku's weakness, so she tried to approach her very quickly. The battle between them was fierce and her move. With her powers, she could sense electricity and signals from Shizuku's brain, finding openings to launch attacks and reading Shizuku's mind. In the end, Shizuku felt that she couldn't see Tauka's movements, which caused her to be seriously injured. But she didn't give up. She kept trying to launch her best attacks and used all her power to defeat Tauka. The match ended, and the winner of that fierce battle was Tauka. A few days later, they had both won 15 selection matches. When alone in the park, they remember their promise and kiss passionately. But they didn't realize that someone had managed to take the moment. The next day, Ikki met the director. She explained someone from the International League of Magic Knights named Akaza. It seemed he had evil intentions towards Ikki, so the director asked Ikki to be careful. He already knew about Akaza because he was a branch of the Kurogane family and worked for his father. A few days later, news spread about Stella's relationship with Ikki. This caused an uproar in the media because Stella was considered a state guest. Therefore, Akaza brought Ikki to court for examination. Once there, Ikki was treated badly, but Ikki didn't give up and said that they loved each other. The trial continued daily. Even Ikki had to carry out a selection match inside the prison. Even though he managed to win the fight, his mentality was already tired. Stella tried to send a hidden message to Ikki. It managed to revive his spirits. Unfortunately, it only lasts a while. When Ikki met his father, he hoped to get his father's acknowledgement. Therefore, he tried to be strong. But his father said that he did not expect anything from him. Hearing that made him sad, and after winning 19 selection matches, he gets bad news because his latest opponent is Tauka, the strongest student in the academy. Akaza will stop the trial if Ikki can prove his worth by defeating Tauka. However, he must give up on becoming a magic knight if he loses. The day of the final selection match begins. Matches are held in 6 different arenas, and the winner will receive a ticket to enter the 7-Star Sword Arts Festival. Among them was Stella, who was going to fight against the Academy representatives last year. But the battle that became the center of attention was Tauka, the strongest student in the Academy, against the weakest F-class student Ikki Kurogane. Even if the fight was broadcast on television, Akaza intended to show Ikki's suffering to the world. Akaza also didn't pick him up in a car and let him run from the prison to the match arena. It left him exhausted and on the verge of giving up, but Shizuku managed to help Ikki, who was about to faint. Hearing that scream made our hero rise from despair. Then he entered the arena full of confidence that he would win despite his strong opponent. When the fight started, Ikki immediately used his superior ability. He intended to lunge straight at Tauka. Tauka also did the same. She put all of her strength into defeating him. At the last moment, Ikki surpassed his limits by exerting all that power in just 1 second. Instantly everyone was amazed. One strike from the bloody sword managed to defeat the strongest student in the academy. Akaza was annoyed that his plan didn't go well, so he intended to kill him with his own hands. But Stella immediately slapped him so hard that he fainted. After that, they both felt happy to be released, and he proved his prowess by defeating the strongest. Now he began to be recognized by everyone. And that is the end of the video. Remember to subscribe and like this video, so see you in the next video.